What's up, Kai? It's Kyokai1994 here, going to talk to you about anything, you guessed it, Dragon Ball from Ball to Z and everything in between, and I am back on the channel talking more side stories with a special guest. This week we'll be hashing out ideas to actually try to fill out the character in life that is the brother to the throne of the Saiyans. But before I get into that, I want to introduce you guys to my good friend back to the channel. It's been a good little bit since he's actually been on, but my good friend who is always mad as heffel about people being mad at small dub changes in the English dub of Dragon Ball Super, Frozen Particle. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. As I said, happy to be here, man.
I'm glad. I always love having you, and it's been a good long time since you've been on, but I want you guys to actually hit the link down in the description to go over to Frozen's channel and check out his videos on the dub changes and just his overall opinions on the English dub of Super. You can check that out over on the link below. Make sure, you know, you hit his sub button and you can find out about Toriyama's life if you really want to know good things. But today, Nathan, I brought you here to actually follow up on another side story we did. I think it was like a year ago or something at this point. Back in the day, we did a side story on Vegeta that I'll leave somewhere linked in the description or a bubble or something. We did our Vegeta side stories and talked for a good little bit, but I think today it's time to talk stories on his long-lost brother, Tarble, because I think that is who needs to get some kind of, you know, depth and explanation to his character. So, you have a video about Tarble on your channel that I'll leave linked as well if you guys want to go check that out. But that's what I brought you here today to do. So I want to talk about being the 20th movie coming out sometime soon, you know, in December. The origin of the Saiyans. I want to see more of Tarble's life. Maybe how he met his wife. You know what I mean? Something interesting like that. Why he left the planet in the actual first place. We don't know if, like, you know, he was sent out like Goku would have been right before the explosion. But we know that he's gone, so we need to figure out how he actually left the planet. And I feel like that would actually be a good thing to actually use as a story for a one-shot manga series that you could do. But I don't know what your ideas for some side stories for Tarble might be.
Well, there are a ton of ways to approach Tarble, as there are not much, you know, appearances of Tarble. I mean, the only anime variant of, you know, Tarble's appearance is in, of course, the 2008 Jump Yosan Goku special, and I'll leave it, like, you know, just want to shout out Danny Gita 101's huge, great video on the history of the Yosan Goku special, and, you know, that features Tarble, and that was also adapted into a manga, where Tarble kind of looks like Vegeta in that, you know, manga adaptation. And then in video games and stuff, you know, he's appeared in Raging Blast 2 as a playable character, and in the English dub of that, of the Raging Blast video game, he was voiced by Todd Haberkorn, you know, fun fact, and he was also Android 19 in Kai, and Jock of the Galactic Patrolman, most famously in the Dragon Ball franchise. So, since there isn't a whole lot of Tarble appearances, or Tarble-related appearances, and of course there was the Battle of Gods mention of Tarble, which didn't end up as a line in the Battle of Gods arc, but that's either here nor there. Maybe they had an idea of Kaba, who very much is similar to Tarble, so they didn't really want to mention Tarble in the arc because, you know, basically Kaba and Tarble are basically kind of the same character, which, you know, if you want to do a Tarble story now in the Dragon Ball Super continuity, I think it has to be different than Kaba, who is a friendly Saiyan, and he really looks up to Vegeta, and in my initial pitch video for this, you know, like for Tarble basically, and him having a original storyline, I thought it would be interesting if he actually resented Vegeta and King Vegeta and, you know, the Saiyan race for abandoning him, you know, so long ago. And in the Yosan Goku special, I thought it was quite weird that he just sort of came to Vegeta, and of course he needed his help to defeat the Frieza remnants, you know, Avocado, but I just thought it was weird that he didn't resent Vegeta at all, and he basically just accepted that he was just a weakling, and I just thought it was weird, so I changed it up and thought that, you know, what would be interesting if Tarble was evil and he actually resented the Saiyans and he wanted to destroy Vegeta, and once he landed on Earth with Gurei, his wife, they would have a heart-to-heart, and, Vegeta would prove to Tarble that he wasn't the same person as his father, as their father, I should say, and then when they have a heart-to-heart, when they actually, come to terms with the fact that, the Saiyan race and the brutality of that race was just in the past, then they have a heart-to-heart, and then turns out Gurei, she is mad at the Saiyans because they also destroyed their race, and she was just using Tarble to get to Vegeta because, who would find Vegeta easily, his brother. So, yeah, that's why Gurei latched onto Tarble, and they, she basically faked loved him, so then, they get married and all of that stuff. So basically Gurei does a complete 180, and she's basically the main villain of this little Tarble storyline. So when Tarble and Vegeta finally have a heart-to-heart, and it seems like all is good, Gurei comes in and is like, no, I want to destroy the Saiyans once and for all, and then, Gurei just powers up, kills Tarble, and in the original Yosun Goku special, Gurei is nothing. She is much weaker than what this story is, that, my idea is, basically. And she's, transforms, kills Tarble, and then Goku and Vegeta, of course, have to face up against Gurei, and Gurei wants to avenge her race of people that were destroyed by the Saiyans, because, as you know, Saiyans, they blow up planets, and, that's basically the whole idea. So you need to have something different in order to have an effective storyline with Tarble, because we already have Kaba, and if you have the same character as before in the Yosun Goku special, that could look a little stale and repetitive, because Tarble in the Yosun Goku special is very much like Kaba. So yeah, that's basically it.
That's pretty dark. You know that, Frozen, right? That's pretty dark, man. But no, I like that. I really do like that idea, but what I was thinking more along the lines of is trying to actually utilize his good nature and his tail, because he has, his Saiyan tail, and actually having him come back and needing help from, Goku and Vegeta and everybody, needing help from some problem. Obviously, you're not going to try to rehash the Yosun Goku special, so it has to be some different problem. But he wants to be the one that takes out the problem. More of like a Trunks kind of feeling, how he feels responsible, he feels that he needs to actually be able to do this. And I feel that using his good nature, his tail, we can actually bring back some of the older Dragon Ball Z tropes from the Saiyan Saga and everything about Ozaru transformation, and just tapping into Super Saiyan for the very first time, and teaching his brother that. And I know that we've already kind of had the Kaba Vegeta training side story go on inside the show, but I feel that it'd be interesting to use Vegeta and his actual brother, where he's actually saving his blood, and maybe using the kind of the origin of the Saiyans in the Broly movie that's supposed to happen in December, having the destruction of their planet and him finding out about that. Maybe he never knew that planet Vegeta got blown up, so that could be part of the rage that he needs to tap into his power and utilize it to the max. And maybe since everybody else is getting their own transformation, why don't we just give Tarble his own brand new transformation? Then we can put some new Dokkan cards, some new Heroes cards, some new Xenoverse DLC out. It'd be interesting. I mean, I'm really interested to see them dive more into the Saiyan lore, and I feel that using Tarble being one of the many Saiyans that escaped before the explosion, even though nobody was supposed to have gotten off the planet, it'd be really interesting to see what he could do and what power he could hold within the series and continue to play a part in the series after an introduction. But it's still... most of my ideas for these side stories are all wanting to be seen in small little specials or, small little runs of mangas. Because, I love reading the manga. Whenever I look at, these random side stories, I love what all these, authors and publishers... Or, well, I say publishers. I love all these authors and illustrators are, actually doing... Trying to, preserve and, hold the Dragon Ball community and love together forever. They have such a mimic for Toriyama's style, a lot of them, that, it's like if he was doing it with, different people's voice, because, Toriyama's not that great at writing, you know, romance, so if we need a romance story, we can, you know, grab another writer and another illustrator to, like, put something out that, like, resembles some kind of love story in the Dragon Ball franchise to, like, you know, satisfy the people that want that. Like, this opens up a lot of opportunities to people, but I don't know if there are any other Tarble little ideas that you wanted to throw out there, Frozen.
Well, I just wanted to, like, touch on a point you made before about, like, of course we can't, like, one-to-one, like, translate the Yosan. I mean, we could translate the Yosan Goku special into an arc, but it wouldn't even be an arc. It would just be one episode, you know? And
it would probably be, like, 4 episodes. It would be, like, a really, really extended arc of, like, 4 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, like, extend it, like, that much, but it's, like, also, like, you have elements in the Yosan Goku special that have already played a part into the Dragon Ball Super anime, like, you know, Frieza soldiers and the survivors of the, you know, Frieza army that's already explored in Resurrection F, and, you know, a couple of other things at this new movie, for instance. You know, how Frieza has, like, a brand new army. And, you know, certain stuff like that, like the reunion feel, we've already had that with the Battle of Gods movie and arc. You know, how, like, the 2008 special is set, you know, celebrating Mr. Satan's new hotel, I believe it was. Just, you know...
It was a nice looking hotel.
Yeah. Just sort of a reunion feel. So we can't really explore that. So yeah, like, having a brand new story for Tarble, at least something that, you know, treads, you know, a bit different and strays a bit, you know, away from the Yosan Goku special, that would be quite nice. I would like to see that, definitely.
You have him crash land in a Saiyan pod by himself.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to fit, like, the story, like, you need to base the story around Tarble. Like, you need a good, like, I think the core of this here, you need a good reason for Tarble to be, you know, on the planet, like planet Earth, meeting the Saiyans, and you need a good villain for Tarble, that doesn't feel, you know, like Tarble doesn't need to be there or whatever. You know, this needs to be Tarble's story. Like, we can't just, like, shoehorn Tarble in. So, like, having it real personal with the Saiyans, and as you were talking about, like, the Saiyan lore and fitting them in, I think that's quite crucial, because we can't just throw around Saiyans willy-nilly. You know, like, they're kind of an important part about the franchise, and they're also quite sacred. We only introduce Saiyans when it's, you know, when it's important to the story, you know, barring Goten and Trunks. So, you know, having Tarble there where you need an actual good reason. And I'm sure, like, yeah, as you were saying, like, one of the many manga spin-off authors can, you know, think of that. I mean, there's tons of good manga spin-off authors. You know, most recently there was the person that's doing the Desperate Fighters manga. Now, that's very original. You know, it's not even about Dragon Ball necessarily, like, it's not in the Dragon Ball universe, it's just about, you know, playing the Fighters video game. It's an esports manga, so there's so much stuff you can do, and so much, you know, content you can cover in this franchise. You know, as you can say, you know, as you were saying before, we could do romance and, you know, all of that stuff, even though as Toriyama can't do romance, you know, somebody else can do it, or, you know, something else entirely, like an esports manga, or, you know, just something. So if Toriyama can fit in one of those, that would be very nice, like a spin-off manga or whatever. That would be, you know, awesome. And even fucking the One Piece manga author, you know, even he did a spin-off of Dragon Ball. Of course, it was with his characters as well. It was a crossover, but you know what I mean, like,
there's a lot of potential.
It would just
there's loads of potential.
Yeah.
It's endless. And that's why I love the Dragon Ball room being created at Shueisha. Like, obviously they've had this, like, for years, but, like, actually having the announcement of, like, hey, we're putting a lot of people to work on this, like, that's a great announcement, and, like, I'm happy that they ever did that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I totally agree. Yeah.
But I want to thank you guys for actually wasting your time watching us talk about some side stories. I know we enjoyed it, but if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like down below. Also, tell me your thoughts on a side story having to do with Tarble, or any other side story ideas you have down in the comments section below. Make sure you go over to Frozen Particles channel and you check out what he is doing over there. You're gonna find something you enjoy, because he's going through all of Toriyama's works and just, like, bringing up the old stuff. He's trying to bring up everything that he can about Toriyama's life and dissect it as much as he can, and it's a lot of work, and I know that he is trying to do as much of it as he can. He's doing a great job, so make sure that you go over there and check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you go down and hit my subscription button to stay up to date with anything that's coming on the channel, be that side stories, discussions, Dokkan videos, Legends videos, you name it, it's on the channel, it's coming. I also have a series that Nathan may be helping me out on, so he will be back on the channel if he wants to help me out with that later on. But thank you guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Peace out, guys.
See ya, cunts.
Thank you for the discussion.
MJ was here the whole time!
Oh, they were here the whole time! Shout out to BG, Dimsy, MJ.
Links in the description.
Thanks for listening in and being real awkward, guys.